Thanks for joining us for this First Alert Weather Plus extended forecast. Let's talk about what is on the way for the second half of this week. Temperatures are going to trend warmer for a few days, but that'll be a little short-lived because clouds and moisture will quickly move back into our region on Friday. Overall, it's going to leave us with a very unsettled weekend, and no matter what region you're living in. So I want to show this nationwide futurecast here. So looking over along the West Coast or further out than the West Coast, you can see this system. I'm going to play this out and you can see that it's making its way just a little bit off of Northern California, the coast there. And this is Friday, 6 p.m. And you can see this low pressure system is spinning counterclockwise there. And even though it's not over our region of Idaho right here, we're still already seeing the impacts there of that precipitation. It will continue to move inland through the weekend. This is now Sunday, and you can see it's almost more overhead Idaho and Nevada border. And it's still bringing us precipitation until Monday when it finally moves east and we finally stop seeing showers from that system specifically. But hopefully this weekend that system will bring us quite a bit of precipitation because we are pretty far behind on our April precipitation. These are some numbers here. You can see Boise has only gotten about 1/4 of an inch in precipitation. Normally for the month of April, we see almost a whole inch more than that. Mountain Home has seen nothing and usually sees at least an inch for the month of April. Twin Falls has seen 3/100ths of an inch, normally about 1 inch and 1/10 of an inch of precipitation. McCall seeing the most precipitation so far this month, as we've seen McCall and the West Central Mountains get quite a bit of showers. We've seen 6/10 of an inch of precipitation, but usually they are well over 2 inches there. And then Ontario barely seeing anything, 2/100ths of an inch, although they have the least expectations for April as their normal is only about 7/10 of an inch. So if we look at what we're expecting this weekend, come Thursday, it seems like higher elevations will most likely see that precipitation, like Haley, Chalice, and those high peak mountains will see that precipitation accumulation. Come Friday morning, we're going to see that precipitation building a little bit, a little more rainfall in the mountain areas, and then Friday afternoon is when the valleys are finally going to start to catch up a little bit. You can see Boise expects 1/10 of an inch by late Friday, early Sunday morning about 1 a.m. Twin Falls, Ontario seeing traces of rainfall as well, and then that'll continue into the weekend. Come Saturday night into Sunday and Monday, you can see Haley, Chalice, Cascade, all seeing more than 1/2 inch of rain. And this is total rainfall, not just for the day, but from now until this period, or rather the period of the second half of this week through Monday is looking like that's when the heaviest precipitation is going to occur. And then looking as far as to Tuesday, you can see that parts of eastern Idaho then are expecting to see precipitation as well. Doesn't really look like anywhere is expecting to get an inch this weekend, but some spots are getting kind of close in those higher elevations. Snowfall is looking even less likely. However, there could be some snowfall. If we go forward to the second half of this week as well, you can see by Saturday, Stanley and Sun Valley could see 1 inch of snow accumulated. However, on Saturday, snow levels are going to be pretty high, about 7,500 feet. So those highest peaks up there will be seeing that accumulated snowfall. And then come Sunday, snow levels will drop a little bit to about 6,000 feet. This model here only takes us to Saturday. So an inch of snow at the highest peaks through Saturday, possibly more on Sunday, but we'll have to keep an eye on that as that's still a little ways out. Our temperatures over the last 2 weeks have been bouncing around. It seems like in the first half of April, we were a little warmer, seeing temperatures at 70, above 70 some days, or right around 70. And then in this past week, we've really seen temperatures drop into the 60s for the most part, sticking around in the mid 60s. But like I said, we are seeing a warming trend for the second half of this week as we get to the weekend. So hopefully we will see those 70s return again. Thursday's looking like 70 for the high, but Friday and Saturday are looking like 73. And again, that's going to be short-lived before we get to the weekend of 60s again for the valley. Sun Valley is going to have a little bit of different conditions. Central Mountains have been getting most showers this week. You can see that starting Thursday, even though it doesn't show rain showers here, they are still likely to occur. It's just showing that mostly cloudy conditions is going to be the majority of the day. But then come Friday, chance of showers and thunderstorm, and there's actually a chance of storms throughout every day this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And looking at McCall here, you can see very similar conditions, maybe not as many showers as the central mountains, but McCall might be getting a little bit less precipitation this week. However, they've had the most so far this month before this last weekend of April that we are heading into. So looking at our futurecast here, you can see that Wednesday afternoon looks like those showers are mostly sticking in the central mountains where that system first started to hit, but come Thursday morning, even tomorrow or Thursday morning, the showers could be picking up in the Magic Valley. They will be very spotty and scattered, however, and this is about 4 a.m. on Thursday. Then it'll look pretty clear in the valleys for most of Thursday until the afternoon. Those showers are going to become more widespread, reaching over to the west central mountains as well. Clouds are going to develop overnight Thursday into Friday morning or Friday midday and Friday afternoon. That's when we see showers in the Magic Valley, the Treasure Valley, all the mountain regions, and these spots here that show that red orange color show the heaviest rainfall there, and those are definitely spots that could potentially be seeing thunderstorm activity. And looking at out into this weekend, you can see this is Saturday, 3 o'clock. It looks like the first half of Saturday could be rather dry apart from some cloud coverage, but come the afternoon time when the most activity happens again, that's when we could see showers and thunderstorms again. Winds will pick up somewhat this weekend or the second half of this week as well. Thursday afternoon and Thursday for majority of the day, Magic Valley could see some quickly sustained wind speeds, and getting into Friday, you can see that the Magic Valley is then seeing sustained winds of up to 20 miles per hour. Nothing dangerous yet, but it could be a little bit of a nuisance. As we get into Friday, Magic Valley is seeing winds approaching 30 miles per hour, and those are those constant winds blowing at 30 miles per hour. So that could certainly blow items around outside. Could be a little hazardous, not necessarily damaging per se, but it could blow things around, which then could damage other items. So something to be mindful of as we head into this weekend and some stormy conditions as well. This is a 7-day forecast for the central mountains. You can see second half of the week, Thursday and Friday, looking at the 50s, hopefully reaching 60 on Saturday, but that will also be short-lived as Sunday looks to drop down into the 50s. Going to be a showery end to that weekend. Long Valley here, similar conditions, 50s and 60s for the next week. It looks like Sunday is going to have the highest chance for thunderstorms. Again, in the afternoon is typically when we see those spring thunderstorm activities happening. Looking at Twin Falls here, Twin Falls will be more similar to the Treasure Valley, hopefully reaching the 70s at the end of this week. But again, Sunday ending the weekend with windy and showery conditions. And then Boise is looking very similar, 70 degrees for Thursday, but Friday, Saturday, 73. Sunday drops down to the 60s again, and then Monday will hopefully start to dry out, but starting the week off windy again. Thanks so much for tuning into First Alert Weather Plus Extended Forecast.